when I went to the doctor's office, again, because they want to push their narrative, I went to the doctor's office, a different doctor many years ago, and they said, well, when we did your ultrasound, we found some abnormalities. So we want to go in and do uh, amniocentesis. And of course, that anything they do extra, they charge you. They're gonna send the bill, and so I said, well, think about it, because that's what we think you should do, because it's important for us to check. And I said, well, I don't feel right about it. He said, well, go and think about it and come back. At least they give me that chance to go and think about it and come back. So I called one of my, sisters that look up to her, and I told her what they told me in the hospital. But I was feeling uncomfortable to argue with the doctor, because I feel he knows everything and he's telling me to do this. So I told her, I said, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, because I also understand that it said there's a high risk of losing the pregnancy if you do this. And so I said, please, when we go, no matter what he says, can you please stay on my side so I don't buckle? I don't let him, go ahead with the procedure, because you're there by yourself. Okay, we can do it right now. Let's just clean up and get it done. So I said, please, I don't want to do it. So she went with me, and she sat down with me. And when he was talking to us and say, well, have you decided? I said, well, my sister is here and I don't think I want to go further with it. And then he went ahead to tell her that, well, just know that if something goes wrong at the end, if you have this baby, there's something wrong, we are not going to be held responsible, because we're making you aware that there's something abnormal about your readings. I said, well, yeah, that's fine. We will stay with what we've decided. If she wasn't there with me, no advocate, I probably would just say, well, okay, you just get scared and say maybe they're right, just do it. So I just said, so I said no, and I left. And now my daughter is 13, nothing is wrong with her. And you know what I mean? So I could have gone one way. And I'm not saying when you do the procedure is wrong for some people, but for me, I was scared. And I was
Yeah.
glad that an advocate was there to help me stick to my guns.
And that's the thing, you guys. And I heard you say something that I think is very, 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 very important. So Dominique and Renee, she said she hit it on the head. Advocacy. So you guys are in the healthcare field. What are you telling your friends, families, and loved ones about advocacy? Because I think that's very important. Because again, especially when we have these older people, or we have people who don't really know, they think doctors are God. Whatever the doctor says goes. So what happens? So what do you what are you telling your people? And then what should other people be doing? And I'll start with you, Miss Renee.
Well, I've always, for the premise, is to start with safety and self-advocacy. Safety first. So you have to, and that is what the premise is when we are doing as monitors, that we're making sure, are supposed to, when we're on the clinics, looking at the data to make sure that whatever's happening, that the patient is safe first. So with self-advocacy, we have to, that all is encompassed of just educating yourself, making sure that you have, your family knows what's going on, and then having a plan. That could be a plan of what the healthcare, what you want your doctors to know, what kind of treatments you need, have that already settled down with your family. So then when you go into the doctor, you feel confident